The year is 1812. The young United States is barely 36 years old, still bruised from its fight for independence. But across its northern border lies a prize many American leaders believe is theirs for the taking. Canada, a vast land still under British control? American politicians begin whispering bold claims. Some even say conquering Canada would be, and I quote, a mere matter of marching. But history is rarely that simple. Tensions between the United States and Great Britain had been boiling for years. British naval forces were stopping American ships and forcing sailors into the British Royal Navy. Trade restrictions strangled American commerce. Meanwhile, British support for Native American resistance on the frontier angered American settlers pushing westward. To many Americans, Britain's control of Canada felt like a threat hanging directly over their heads. So in June of 1812, the United States declared war. The plan seemed straightforward. American leaders believed that many Canadians, especially French Canadians in Quebec, would welcome liberation from British rule. They expected locals to join their cause. Once American troops crossed the border, they were terribly mistaken. In July 1812, American General William Hull marched his army toward Canada, confident and determined. His forces crossed into Upper Canada, modern-day Ontario. The American soldiers expected celebration. Instead, they met silence and resistance. Canadian settlers, British soldiers, and Native American warriors quickly formed an unlikely alliance. At the center of this resistance stood two powerful figures, British General Isaac Brock and the legendary Shawnee leader Tecumseh. Brock understood something the Americans didn't. Canada wasn't waiting to be rescued. It was preparing to fight. In one of the war's most shocking moments, Brock and Tecumseh launched a bold psychological strategy. They made their small combined forces appear massive, using coordinated movements, war cries, and repeated marches through visible areas to trick the Americans into believing they were surrounded by overwhelming numbers. The result was astonishing. General Hull, terrified of losing his army and the town of Detroit, surrendered without firing a major shot. Detroit, one of America's most important frontier cities, fell instantly. The United States was stunned. The invasion meant to capture Canada had instead handed victory to British and Canadian forces, but America refused to back down. Over the next 2 years, American forces launched multiple invasions across the Canadian border. Battles erupted along the Great Lakes, Niagara Falls, and the St. Lawrence River. Towns burned, families fled, soldiers fought in brutal wilderness conditions. In 1813, American troops finally struck back, capturing the Canadian capital of York, today known as Toronto. The city was looted and burned, sending shockwaves throughout British North America. But this victory carried consequences no one expected. The burning of York enraged British forces. In retaliation, British troops would later march into Washington, D.C., and set fire to the White House and other government buildings. One of the most humiliating moments in American history. The war dragged on, draining resources and lives on both sides. Native American alliances shifted. Tecumseh himself was killed in battle, a devastating loss that shattered Native resistance in the region. By 1814, exhaustion replaced ambition. Neither side had gained decisive control over Canada or American territory. Finally, in December 1814, the Treaty of Ghent was signed. The war ended, almost exactly where it began. Borders remained unchanged. Canada stayed British. America remained independent. Thousands had fought and died, yet neither side gained new land. But the war reshaped identities forever. For Americans, it strengthened national pride and proved they could stand against Britain again. For Canadians, it sparked a sense of unity and resistance that would later help shape the country's identity. For Native Americans, it marked a tragic turning point that weakened their ability to defend their lands. And today, the United States and Canada share one of the longest peaceful borders in the world. A quiet reminder of a violent past many people barely remember. Now here's something to think about. If the United States had successfully conquered Canada in 1812, how different do you think North America, and even the world, would look today? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.